How many times must Donald Trump associate himself with Hitler, compare himself to Hitler, talk like Hitler, use Hitler's language, himself doing it, but also his administration? Donald Trump, how many times have you heard him talk about poisoning the blood of the country and calling immigrants and non-white people vermin? He is our version of Adolf Hitler. J.D. Vance thinks so. J.D. Vance said as much. But also his Department of Homeland Security using the aesthetic choices of Nazi propaganda, using the actual phrases of Nazi propaganda. Yesterday, the Department of Education tweeted this: "No one does it like us," with a little tiger emoji. And it was community note fact-checked, or community noted, if we're going to use that as a verb. And this was the community note on the video that I'm getting ready to show you. Actually, let's do this. Here is the post that was tweeted and then deleted by the United States Department of Education in praise of the dear leader, comparing him to a tiger. Then I'll show you the community note.
You cannot reason with a tiger when your head is in its mouth.
So ostensibly, Donald Trump is a bold, decisive leader. He's the tiger that you can't negotiate with when your head is in his mouth. The problem lies in the fact that that movie, that's The Darkest Hour, where Gary Oldman plays Winston Churchill. This was the community note. This clip is from the film Darkest Hour, and the tiger in this clip refers to Adolf Hitler. And then when this was pointed out, of course, once it's publicly and widely known, they retreat from that obvious white supremacist position that Donald Trump should be compared to Hitler, or that Hitler is someone to compare yourself to. This is the 29 seconds or so from the scene in that movie to prove the point that the scene was about Hitler.
Hitler will not insist on outrageous terms. He will know his own weaknesses. He will be reasonable.
When will the lesson be learned? When will the lesson be learned? How many more dictators must be wooed, appeased, good God, given him mixed privileges, before we learn? You cannot reason with a tiger when your head is in its mouth.
And Donald Trump wants to be compared to Hitler. Donald Trump's administration, the people he's chosen to put around him, want him to be compared to Hitler, a man vanquished by, in some part, the United States' military effort in World War II. Absolutely disgusting and unhinged, detached from reality, because Donald Trump is not some kind of a ruthless, strong man. He's ruthless in many ways, but he's not a tough guy. Adolf Hitler wasn't really a tough guy. Just a weak, afraid, white supremacist piece of shit like Donald Trump. This, by the way, this is their tiger. Donald Trump starting trade wars, and then rather than coming to the table in good faith to negotiate his way out of the problem he created, he takes the Oval Office to make cute little videos about changing the name of Lake Ontario. I talked about this yesterday. This is the Republican Party's tiger.
So this is Lake Ontario in Canada and in the United States. But we're going to make a little change. We're going to call it something different than Lake Ontario. We're going to call it Lake America. And all it takes is a good pen and some intelligence. So Lake Ontario, that's gone. Lake America. So now we have a lake, and now we have a gulf, because we have the Gulf of America, now we have Lake America, without the of. Thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy Lake America.
And now we have a Lake America without the of. Cool. Cool. What a tiger. What a scary, formidable opponent. I laugh. But what does it say about where we are as America? As the beacon of freedom, that shining city on a hill that Ronald Reagan talked about so much. The example of democracy globally is what they want you to believe. And Donald Trump out here comparing himself to Hitler. Again, it's becoming a refrain because it's cementing itself as fact. We're the bad guys now. They want to act like we're a force for good. No, we're not. Not right now. Not for the foreseeable future, we're not. Not until we can get some Democrats after the midterm into the House of Representatives who are ready to take this on, who are ready to combat America's Hitler, who are ready to impeach, convict, and remove America's Hitler. And how are we to expect everyone around us to think of Donald Trump as anything other than what he wants you to think of him as? He wants you to think he's America's Hitler. His vice president has called him as much. Everything they do signals we admire the Nazis. We admire what the Nazis did. We admire the Nazis' leader, Adolf Hitler. In fact, our guy, Mr. Fine People on both sides, Nazis and anti-fascists, fine people on both sides. That guy, that's who he wants you to think of him as. Otherwise, why would this keep happening? What a weird coincidence that this keeps happening over and over and over with the Trump administration in this second term. Donald Trump does not feel accountable to public opinion. Obviously, he doesn't feel accountable or beholden to public opinion. Otherwise, he would be dealing with the inflation problem that is rampant and out of control. The affordability crisis that he has created and exacerbated. He would worry about those things, fix those things, do the thing he promised to do dozens, if not hundreds of times during the 2024 campaign. What was obvious to us, you and me, is now becoming obvious to an audience that once didn't believe it, that thought you and I were alarmists. And we were not. We were right. Their bold and aggressive signals about who they are and who he is, they're now becoming bolder. It's no more dog whistles. It's now Donald Trump is Hitler. Imagine where we'll be in 6 months or a year and a half. What do you think? I welcome you to this conversation. It is not bombast. It is not alarmism. This is real. This is real. Comment below, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. I'd love to see you there, and I will see you next time. Until then, be genuine, take care of yourself, and take care of everybody else around you.